Hello everyone, it's time for a sensible public announcement brought to you by your favourite YouTuber that you're watching at this exact moment in time, me. As most of you are aware, I'm sure, the Nintendo Switch is coming out next week. But is it worth buying one at launch, or should you wait a little bit? Is it ever worth buying a console at launch? Common sense would say no, but why? Buying a console at launch pretty much guarantees that you're going to be paying the highest price for it. I've never known a console come out and then have a price rise after launch. So it will always be the most expensive it's ever going to be. So, for example, if you bought a Super Nintendo at launch, you'd have paid about 200 quid. If you'd bought an original Xbox at launch, you'd have paid about 300 quid. And if you'd bought a PS3 at launch, you would have paid an eye-watering £425 for it. So why pay through the nose for a system that's inevitably going to have a price drop, or at least some better bundles including some games, before the holiday season? Not to mention that the games will also be at their most expensive ever, so you're paying more for the games and you're paying more for the system to play them on. It seems like a lose-lose situation, doesn't it? And don't even get me started on the accessories. I mean, I like the look of the Switch Pro controller and everything, but 70 quid for the Pro controller? And speaking of the games, you won't get very many at launch, and they won't necessarily be good ones. Let's be honest, not all launch games can be Mario 64 levels of quality. We wish they were, but they won't be. If you look at the launch day lineups of any console, you will find games that have been forgotten about or that you can buy for 50p in CEX. Because they didn't have the longevity and they weren't as entertaining as they thought they were going to be. I mean, in this day and age of digital distribution, obviously you do get more choice because there'll be a bunch of games released for whatever digital shop that console has, whether it's the eShop or the PlayStation Store or Xbox Live Arcade or whatever it may be. But even so, why not wait 6 months? Get it with some games you really want when you know there are more on the horizon as well. Now this is slightly less of an issue with consoles that encourage local multiplayer, and that is normally Nintendo consoles, let's be honest. But if multiplayer is a big deal for you and you like playing online against people, then being an early adopter is not necessarily going to suit you. If you enjoy online battles with your friends, or even with total strangers, then you need to wait for them to all buy the system, and for your favourite game to appear on the system, and for them all to buy that version of your favourite game on the system. Which is going to take a little while. You need to wait until there's a bigger player base installed, so that you can play your multiplayer games happily, and with the people that you want to play it with. Day one patches are bad enough for games. We see them all the time nowadays. But day one patches for consoles are even worse. Does anyone remember the Wii U day one patch that took hours to download, and if anything went wrong with it, it could brick your Wii U? That's not a good idea, is it? We no longer find ourselves in a plug and play situation with consoles. You can't just pick one off the shelf, plug it in, let it go. You need to do updates, downloads, make everything pretty, make everything work properly before you can get started on what you want to play. But if you wait, then all of those bugs will have been ironed out. The console will work almost out of the box. I say almost, it'll never work entirely out of the box, but it'll get closer. So why not wait? So there you have it. There is no good reason why you should buy a console on launch day. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I'm just going to Where am I going? I'm going to pick up my Nintendo Switch on launch day. Oh, you didn't really think I wasn't going to get one, do you? This was a bait and switch video. I could not be more excited about getting a Switch on launch day. Why? Let me tell you why. It's a brand new Nintendo console. A brand new Nintendo console. I love Nintendo consoles. I have every Nintendo console over there. Apart from the Virtual Boy, and I would have one of those if I could find one. It works both at home and on the go. It's got a new Zelda game coming out with it. It's got other games I am also interested in. There's a Bomberman game for it, for crying out loud. When was the last time we saw a Bomberman game? As a console, it's not too expensive, and Do you know what? I can't justify this logically. All of the points I made before are absolutely true. There is no logical reason to buy a console on launch day. But I'm still going to do it. This isn't a logical decision for me. This is an emotional decision for me. I am excited. I am truly excited by the concept of a new Nintendo console. No, I know there aren't loads of games at launch, although they keep announcing stuff on the eShop every day, which is exciting for me. No, I'm not going to drop 70 quid on a Pro controller at the moment. Maybe it'll drop in price. Mind you, the Wii U one barely did, and I ended up buying one of those, so we'll see how that goes. And yes, I know the online support will be slow to start, but I can play new Zelda on the go. I can play my new Nintendo console wherever I happen to be. I can experience this never-before-experienced type of gaming where you don't have to stop your gaming when you get up. Does this not excite anybody else? Hell, I might even buy 1-2 Switch to see what the Joy-Con multiplayer stuff is like. I know that there's a lot of negativity on the internet right now. There seems to be this phrase going around about Nintendoing something up, which appears to mean doing it their own way in a way that a lot of people perceive as worse than their competition. And I'm not going to stand here and say that everything Nintendo have ever done is perfect. But I don't care. The rest of the world could be worried that, oh, Nintendo are going to mess it up. Or, oh, Nintendo don't even care about the player. Or, oh, there's not even going to be a virtual console ready at launch. But you know the one thing I can trust Nintendo to do? Entertain me. And I can assure you, when I've got my hands on a Switch, that will be happening. I cannot wait to go to my local independent game shop next week, plug in my new console, and get it switched on. And I hope that some of you are going to do the same. Thanks for watching. Are you picking up a Nintendo Switch on launch day? If you are, let me know about it in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like. Please feel free to subscribe or watch some of my other videos. I do a lot of video game related stuff on this channel, as well as other bits and pieces. I've also just released a video exclusive to Vimeo, because YouTube won't let me host it here, which is not about video games, but is about music. Every year I do a little review of the Brit Award nominees for Best British Single, in the hope that one day one of them will turn out to be any good. So I'll pop a link to that in the description. I'll pop a link to another old video down in the bottom corner of this screen. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you're as excited about getting a Switch as I am.